Dante, I think the best thing that anybody in this world could ever do is really, truly have a conversation with people that are really intelligent.
That's a fact.
It truly opens up your mind to different ways of thinking.
Yep.
You understand what I'm saying? Not that you can't be intelligent and know the things that you know in your certain area, but it's like sports, playing basketball on the block. You could be the best on your block, but get a false sense of how good you are because you've never left the block.
Nah.
But the moment you go to somebody else's block, you get your ass handed to you.
Facts.
And then you look like a motherfucker that shouldn't even have got off the bench, and you wondering why, because you never had that diversity. You never had those different experiences to make you up your game. Yeah. See, I wasn't expecting you to say DEI, but when you break it down like that, it makes perfect fucking sense.
It does, bro. Because a lot of them, like you said, they go for the title. A lot of them don't want a seat at the table. They have their seat at the table. If they're not asking the tough questions to the CMO, the CEO, if you just C-suite, I used to see, I'm gonna keep it real, a lot of tech companies specifically, there would be C-suite. Diversity would not be up there, but your chief diversity officer, you're not even on the picture. They saying you got Bob up there, you got this one up there, Tanya's up there, but you're not up there. Why is that? So it makes you think, and it trickles down. So when you talk about ERG programs and all that shit, that's supposed to be a resource for the black employees, it feels funny. That's why we don't even go to it. So it's like shit. I gotta make an ERG. I gotta come with a program, try to highlight us, create a safe space. But there ain't no fucking safe space at this organization. Because if I do one thing that's halfway niggerish, I'm out of here.
Message. And you take a look at the spend. Like, look, what is the budget that they give away in, not give away, but what's the aligned budget that you're working with every year? And it's, you know, you got 3 million, but this other group over here has got, 88 million. It's like, but you gotta work, you gotta make 3 or 4 million work. And now when we start talking about DEI from a hiring practice, equality perspective, I believe in that wholeheartedly.
For sure.
Obviously, that's obvious. I would never say that I don't believe in folks getting hired that are supposed to get hired for somebody who is lesser qualified than, because that's what was happening. And that was the reason for equal opportunity or equal employment opportunities and DEI. It was just to ensure that folks got an opportunity. You look at football.
There's a chance.
Yeah, the Rooney Rule, black coaches weren't even getting interviewed. You know what I'm saying? So I have to create a rule so that folks get interviewed. I understand all of that, but but there has to be a moment in time where folks are qualified, pay them, let them do their job and get out of the way. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Whatever you want to call that, you can call it whatever you want. But I do know that I've seen a lot of situations under the DEI era where I feel like we weren't empowered, we weren't emboldened, we were just entitled. You know what I'm saying? That was
well, I mean, that the key thing to that is we're set up to fail. Plain and simple, right? They set us up to fail. Mm-hmm. And I Dante, let me give you a funny. I'm gonna give you a funny example about that, Dante. I did construction for 22 years, right? One of the last jobs I did was the MoMA expansion project, right? Museum of Modern Art. You know what I'm saying? By Fifth Avenue, by Radio City Music Hall. We built the building. We was expanding it. I was one of only 2 black supervisors, right, in the entire production process of building this building and renovating this project, right? I remember a meeting. So the meeting was next door, 56th floor, whatever, in the high rise where their office was. I go up in the meeting. The other black guy is actually from like Africa. You understand? He's like from an African country. So, it's a difference between us, right?
Yep.
Long story short, I get up in there. It's only me and him in there. And they're like bombarding me with, yo, why you didn't do this? And why you didn't do that? And why you didn't do this? And why you didn't do that? The very first thing I said was, first of all, I don't have any blueprints. Nobody forwarded me any plans. I don't have any type of information on the structure, who goes first, what needs to be done, anything. But they're like, well, we emailed your project manager. I said, I'm not my fucking project manager. I'm the man on the job. Here's my email. Send it to me right now. They sent it to me right now. See, what they were doing was testing me, right? Once I got it, I pulled it up on the big screen and said, now, what do you want me to do? Or why you didn't do this and do that? And I'm like, well, why would I do this and do that when if I do this and do that, doesn't he have to do ABC? They're like, yeah. So if I do this and he has to do ABC, then I would have to undo what I do for him to now do what he needs to do, right? And once they understood that, one, I understood how to read prints, and two, I knew what the fuck that I was talking about, right? As a superintendent, that I was educated and not just like a token black person put in that position. Their whole attitudes changed. I said, so let me tell you how this is supposed to run. I'm not doing nothing until he does what he needs to do. He does what he needs to do, and it gets approved. That way, I'm not doing double the work, right? And that's what I'm talking about, right? So you knew that I was on the job because I was on the job for weeks before we had that meeting. You understand? You could have easily forwarded me the plans. You could have easily asked me, did I have a set of the plans and the schematics, etc. But you didn't. You waited to the point where we was in a big enough room where you thought that you could embarrass me, right? To show that once again that our intelligence level is not where it needs to be. But what we have to do is, when we're in these rooms and we're getting these opportunities, we have to conduct ourselves accordingly. Now, I could have played angry black guy, but no, I didn't, right? I played educated black guy, right? And I took the steps and I conducted myself accordingly to show them not only do I know what I'm doing, but I can actually show them what they're doing wrong to get the job done properly. After that point, everything flowed smoothly.
I would say they hate that.
No, they did, but there was nothing that they could do about it because they knew that I was absolutely right. You understand what I'm saying? So that's what I'm saying, Dante. I agree with you 100%, but I truly believe that a lot of us that are qualified are not getting the looks. And I keep preaching that. A lot of us that are qualified are not getting the opportunities to showcase our abilities and our attributes to do the job properly.
And just for clarity, before your audience starts coming for me, that part of DEI I wholeheartedly believe in. So if you're selling a product and now you can't get your product on the shelf at your local grocery store because they're not, they're closing, and it says no gatekeeping. Exactly. They're gatekeeping your product out. Thank you, Tiffany. They're gatekeeping your product out. That's where I see DEI as being a value, where they're mandating and saying that you need to carry 15% of shelf space. You know what I'm saying?
Correct.
20% shelf space. And I also often say, we as Black folks also have to realize, and I'm going to test you guys real quick, who is the number one benefactor as far as a gender and race of people from DEI? Who benefits the most?
White women. White women.
So we are fighting for a situation where if they get rid of DEI, these white women are still going to get the job. And if they keep DEI, the white women are going to get the jobs that we were supposed to get, that we fought civil rights. Now, there was women's suffrage. Women did march and women did fight. I would never take that away from anybody. That is a fact. We had dogs sicked on us and water hoses. With what we went through and the fight that we went through, and everyone who was able to walk through the door once we kicked it in. But the reality, and these are elements of DEI, because it's not only who gets the most of the pie, it's also the other end of that spectrum. And I often say to folks, do you know who gets the least percentage of DEI? And that's where it gets interesting, because it's Black people. Black people get the least amount of DEI accessibilities, fundings, and so on and so forth.
Absolutely.
So when I say, not fully believing in DEI, until we flip that upside down, we flip that funnel, then, that's where I'm like, just give us what we deserve. We're not begging y'all. Just give us what we deserve and get out the way. Because every single one of us, our parents said, you got to work twice as hard to get. Say, all of us heard that. I don't care where you were raised. We heard that same thing. And
this motherfucker don't miss.
No, he's fucking.
Your phone, and that's a fact. Where we just need to, we need what we deserve and what we've earned. And I'm at that stage of, we're not begging no more. We need what we earned and what we deserved, and that's it. You know what I'm saying?
That's a big fact.
That's
we gotta just take it at this point, man.
That's my attitude, and I'm not, Dante. I'm a rebel, Dante.
Okay.
I'm not even being funny. Like, and the older I get, the more I just don't fucking care about being a rebel. You understand? I'm tired of asking, Dante. I'm tired of begging. I'm tired of asking. Because again, you know, one of the most famous sayings that we repeat on this show all the time is black people negotiate for money, white people negotiate for power. Yes. We are confused what is the greater of the two. See, we think money is the greater of the two when it's actually the power that's the greater of the two. And I'm tired of asking, right? Because see, power and opportunity is not given. It's fucking taken.
Yeah.
It's taken. And the problem is, I feel like we are too afraid, once again, to take back what we feel like is ours, because we feel like, oh, we're going to get backlash. We're going to get blacklisted. We're going to get all this shit. But then I turn around and go, well, ain't that what the fuck they doing right now? What more can they do? Like, my thing is like, what more can they do to us that they are not? And I'm not even at this point in time, they're not even hiding this shit no more. They are blatant with this shit. So it's like, why do we keep fucking asking for permission instead of unifying and just going and taking shit?
We can, because we pump fake. We pump fake. But we pump fake a lot, man. You know what it is. And Dante, you know what it is too.